All right, hello from Indy. So here's the follow-up video on the homemade Evaporust, and just right to the point. I'm happy with it. It did a good job. I feel it did, honestly, just as well as Evaporust. If you followed me, you know I use a lot of Evaporust, and I've always recommended it, and I've not recommended any other product. So I think very highly of Evaporust. Now I think very highly of this, and it's a fraction of the cost. Um, One thing I would have done different is the temperature in my garage is not even, well, it's 50, you can't see it, but it's 54. We had a heavy frost here last night, so it got pretty cold in here, and I've noticed Evaporust works better in warmer temperatures. Again, like I say, we had a heavy frost in Indianapolis last night, and it got pretty cold. So, but it doesn't seem to have mattered. So here's this damper, and it turned out really nice. You can see some flash rust. I just let these parts air dry. I'll oil them up later and they'll be fine. I won't even oil this one up. I'll just put some rusty metal primer on it and paint it. Rust-Oleum rusty metal primer. So you can see the pitting. Again, that's just flash rust. It'll clean right up. Let me try to zoom in so you can see. You know, if a guy wanted to, he could throw it in there a little longer. This I wouldn't worry about. It's good. Came out nice. The machined faces are fine. Again, if I take my finger, see how that's just wiping off. Okay, so that's just flash. Same thing inside. Came out nice. I'm very happy with it. It was 36 hours. So, this is a washer for your damper bolt. It discolors it. Evaporust did the same thing. If you just have a buffer and get a fine wire wheel, you'll be surprised the restoration you can do on something that's come out of Evaporust, and then you wire wheel it, they look brand new. So I'll do that and clean that up. These, matter of fact, you can still see they're still wet. I haven't even blown them off with an air compressor yet. I wanted you to see them as fresh as I could be, or as fresh as I could get them. Flash rust, a little 3-in-1 oil on the threads. These are good. Now, I have noticed in the past, Evaporust did have a slight tendency. Usually when I would do these in Evaporust, it would take the paint off. It hadn't even affected the paint on these. So, I don't know. Interesting thought there. Show you this. The threads are just very nice. A little flash. Again, wire wheel it. It'll look really nice. Last, this little piece here is a control piece. I cut off a piece of sheet metal, put it in there. I wanted to see what it would do to a part that was unrusted. I wanted to gauge if it was acidic or would harm it. This is just a piece of scrap. Well, not scrap, but it is fine. It has not harmed it in any way. It's smooth as it can be. Looks fine. It discolored it. Obviously, it's been in a solution, a darkened solution with rusty junk for 36 hours. But you take this over to that wire wheel and it will polish it right up. I would say no effect other than the discoloration. It has not, it is as smooth as can be. So so I wouldn't recommend it. I wanted to put this in here before I recommend somebody do stuff to know it's safe. And if it hasn't harmed this after 36 hours, it's fine. So, yeah, I mean, if, like I said, if you watch my videos, I use a lot of Evaporust and have done a lot of parts over the years, and I think very, very highly of Evaporust. Well, I think this is about the same, guys. I really don't think I'm going to be buying Evaporust anymore. I think I'm just going to use this. You know, I noticed even with Evaporust, sometimes you would get a part like this and you would put it in there. Sometimes after 24 hours or whatever, you take them out, you wash them with hot soapy water and a toothbrush, you throw them back in. It gets that film that gets on them off, and then it lets it get in there and finish it. So sometimes that's what you need to do to get a part to finish. You know, I mean, if I really want to get nuts about this, I don't know. I mean, there's just the slightest little bit, maybe right there on the edge, you know. Ooh, almost dropped it. Doing this one hand here. Okay, you can see that. If I was to put this back in, now that I've washed it in hot soapy water and fresh solution, you know, then it finishes it. Evaporust did the same thing. So, yeah, thumbs up. And, you know, I don't know if Uncle Tony ever watches any of my videos or not. Maybe Uncle Tony. Thanks, Uncle Tony. Maybe he'll do an engine block, man. Get a 55-gallon barrel and do this. And I'd love to see him do it. I can do it too. If Uncle Tony doesn't pick this up, somebody maybe send this video to him. If he doesn't pick it up and run with it, you know, maybe in the spring or sometime, who knows when I get bored, maybe I'll tear this motor down and do an engine block. And I'm confident that you won't harm the engine block. And if Uncle Tony does one, and it somehow does harm his engine block, I'll give him an engine block. Because he was doing it on my coercion and recommendation. So he doesn't know me. We don't really know each other, but I do like to watch his videos and enjoy his stuff. And so maybe somebody tag him that he's been mentioned. I'm not calling him out. I'm mentioning it. It'd be an enjoyable video. Uncle Tony's a lot of fun to watch. So it'd be funner for you to watch him do it than me. Because you know me, I'm just going to stick it in the tank and say, okay, I'll see you in 36 hours. He'd make an enjoyable video. That's why I'm suggesting that. Okay. I think that's it, guys. So yes, if my answer, short and sweet, I recommend it. It really worked. Okay. Later.